Hello, this is the resident beard, Mike Orvis here for Geek Pride with the man pretty much responsible for my childhood. It's the legendary Kevin Eastman. I'm very excited. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Have you had a good con so far?
It's been, I am so lucky. I'm so blessed. The fans, we've been all over the world, and the fans are exactly the same. They're the nicest, coolest, most sincere, and warmest people, and it's been no different here. It's been fantastic.
Great stuff. Okay, so I pretty much followed you around for most of yesterday. I was here and sort of chewed your ear off about how I got my scar. I'll be talking about that in a podcast later. And I sat with you for the panel, which you handled pretty well considering that the moderator sort of disappeared, but you kind of handled it on your own.
Well, it's funny. I've done these panels. I love talking. I love talking about the history of the Turtles and giving a bit of advice. And we usually do like a slideshow, and it shows some funny pictures of me being a goofball. But no, I get energy from the crowd, and I want to sort of at least share some insider stuff that they don't know about, some behind the scenes, and I love it. But the moderator actually went down here to find me as I was going up there to talk, and by the time he came back up, I was already blah, 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 blah. So he said he's got it under control, but sure. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome, okay. So yesterday, I asked you a question, and you said you're going to sleep on it, so I'm now going to hold you to that. Gun to your head, if you had to do a final Turtle story, what would happen in it?
Oh, let me see. If I was going to do a final Turtle story. I always liked when we sent the Turtles into outer space, like in the early, that we were working through the Secret of the Ooze thing. I'd like to see them sort of go off onto another place and live on a world where they didn't have to live underground and that kind of stuff. They could just sort of be themselves and live sort of a peaceful life until they died, I guess. But on some alien planet with lots of beautiful turtle women.
Okay. Brilliant.
Lots of turtle babies.
Okay, awesome. And you also mentioned that you've got sort of a new project coming up, Fist of Blood.
Yeah, actually, I created this concept called Fistful of Blood with Simon Bisley, local.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know Simon?
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Simon is one of my best friends. He's the godfather of our son. And we worked together for years, and we have this concept called Fistful of Blood. We actually originally released it in Heavy Metal Magazine, and we're doing a kind of a remastered colored version of it. It's coming out this fall. And then I have another project I'm working on with Simon. It's called Lost Angeles, L-O-S-T, Lost Angeles, which is kind of my love poem to the Warriors movie, and it's post-apocalyptic warriors in LA, and I'm so excited. I love the Turtles, and I'm going to continue doing, Turtle covers, Turtle stories, Turtle graphic novels, but these are sort of some side projects that I can, flex some other creative muscles.
Can you give away anything as to the plot of Lost Angeles?
Well, Los Angeles, it's a love story. I love stories that set in the after the apocalypse, so it's post-apocalyptic. It's a love story, and it's I guess much like inspired by the original Warriors movie, Walter Hill film, is that they basically have to fight across this wasteland on their way to a better life, to freedom, to a place called Avalon. So yeah, it's lots of action, and I love the good love story as well. So it's a little bit of both.
Awesome. Okay, so one final question. Obviously, you mentioned yesterday that you've thought about doing a Daredevil crossover a gazillion times. Mm-hmm. What would happen in your Daredevil Turtles crossover dream story?
I would. One of my favorite Turtle stories. It was the Leonardo one shot. And in Leonardo one shot, it was my section that ran through the middle of the story. It had no words in it. It was just this one long fight scene with Leonardo being attacked at different places by all these ninjas. And I would do very little story, and I would just have the Turtles and Daredevil fighting ninjas all across New York City. Just be complete.
Any sort of plot?
I'd come up with something. Come up with something to justify it.
You could have literally the hand and the foot.
That would exactly. I'd bring the hand and foot, and you could bring Stick and Splinter back into some capacity. I'd love to have Electra in there, of course, in some capacity, but no, it'd be. I'd make it as intense as possible. And,
fantastic. Well, on behalf of Geeks Everywhere and personally from me, thank you for everything you've done. You are an utter legend. Thank you.